Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification button, share. My name is Paviel. I'm a pharmacist here in Jamaica, and I like to do these videos about pharmacy, skincare, healthcare, all of them something. I drop in a little razzle dazzle here and there, but you get the gist. Alright, so I want to do this video to answer a very common question that I normally get from the females. This is a question that I get like every day or every other day. It's a very popular question. And the question is usually, what can I take to push back my period? My boyfriend is coming, or my spouse, or the people in man, or whoever coming, and my period is expected to come around a particular time, or Christmas are come, Valentine's, New Year's, them little, so I don't want to have a bloody Christmas or a bloody birthday, etc. So what can I take to push back my period? In order for you to manipulate your period, you're going to require synthetic forms of the hormones that are naturally occurring in your body. So two main hormones in the body are usually responsible for the whole menstrual cycle. They are progesterone and estrogen. Now we have those hormones available in their synthetic forms, commercially available as combined oral contraceptive pills. I brought an example. I brought this one because I know that this one is very popular. You guys are familiar with this one, but there are several of them available. This one is the mini-gynon, right? The mini-gynon and the pearl, I think, are the two main popular ones currently available in Jamaica right now. But you also have the Novinet, you have Lindinet, you have Diane 35 that requires a prescription. You have Mistral that requires a prescription. You have Oralcon F. You have Clara. Clara requires a prescription and is one of the newer ones. But so either of them can be used, but I'm using this one because I know you guys are pretty familiar with this one. Alright, so these combined oral contraceptive pills, the mini-gynon, the pearl, the Lindinet, the Novinet, they contain synthetic forms of estrogen and progesterone, right? So this particular one, the mini-gynon, has 0.15 milligram of levonorgestrel, which is the synthetic progesterone, and it has 0.03 milligrams of ethinyl estradiol, which is the synthetic estrogen, right? Now, how combined oral contraceptive pills usually work is that the estrogen component inhibits one of the main two of the main hormones responsible for the menstrual cycle, FSH being one of the main ones. And FSH, or follicle stimulating hormone, is gonna cause you to ovulate because the FSH is gonna promote maturation of the egg. And once the egg is mature, then it's gonna be released. Now, if you're not ovulating, right, because it's gonna inhibit the FSH and subsequently inhibit ovulation. So if you're not ovulating, you're not gonna have a period, right? And the progesterone form is gonna cause changes that prevent the sperm from getting to the egg, like thickening the mucus at the entrance of the womb, among other things, right? All right, so in order for you to manipulate the period, you're gonna have to start taking the mini-gynon at least 3 days. I said 3 to 4, at least 3 to 4 days before the suspected start date. Remember, when you have low estrogen, right, you're gonna have the follicle stimulating hormone, and it's gonna stimulate maturation of the egg, and then the egg is gonna be released, you ovulate, and then you have your period. But at high concentrations, the synthetic estrogen in the mini-gynon is gonna inhibit the FSH, so you're not gonna have maturation of the egg, no ovulation, no period. So in order for this to work, you're gonna have to take it at least 3 to 4 days before your suspected start date. And remember, the starting of the menstrual cycle is the first day of bleeding. The first day of bleeding is day 1. Alright, so how you're gonna do it, you're gonna take 1 tablet twice daily. I say after breakfast and after dinner. And you do that at least 3 to 4 days before the suspected start date of your menses. Then you continue with 1 tablet once daily after a meal until you're ready for the period to come back. Because remember, during that period, during the 3 days before the suspected start date, you're building up the concentration of the estrogen, right? So once the estrogen is at a particular concentration, it's going to inhibit the FSH, can inhibit ovulation, which inhibits your menses, right? So for the first 3 to 4 days, you're building up the concentration fast. And then once it's at that particular level, you can start taking 1 tablet once daily after a meal and maintain that concentration. So while you're maintaining that concentration at that particular level, you're constantly maintaining the concentration, constantly inhibiting the FSH, constantly inhibiting maturation of the egg, constantly inhibiting ovulation and subsequently your menses, right? So for persons who hate them period because it's unbearable, them no want to see them period none at all. Usually for like the minigyne, it has 21 pills. So you take 1 pill a day, and when the pack is finished, you break for like 7 days, right? For persons who do not wish for because during that break, during that 7-day break is when your period is expected to come. And it's not really a period, it's like withdrawal bleed, because the concentration is subsiding within that 7-day break. It's actually withdrawal bleed. It's not actually a period. It's actually like withdrawal bleed. So during that 7 days, the withdrawal bleed occurs, or your period, quote unquote, right? So if you don't want to have the period, you start a new pack like immediately after the pack is finished, so you don't break. What I want to point out though is that the combined oral contraceptive pill is not for everybody. I recommend that you speak with your pharmacist or your healthcare provider before you initiate hormonal contraceptive pill use. There are several side effects that are associated with them. They're contraindicated in some conditions like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, seizures, etc. If you're taking some medications, they can interact with some prescription medication, whether prescription or OTC. So it's always best speak with your pharmacist, speak with your healthcare provider before you start taking an oral contraceptive pill, right? It increases your risk for DVT or deep vein thrombosis, puts you at risk for getting blood clots. So it's not for everybody, right? Unless the benefits outweigh the risks. I do not recommend combined oral contraceptive pills, right? There are several methods of contraception available. You have barrier method, you have non-hormonal contraceptive method. Another thing is, so a lot of persons take combined oral contraceptive pills for years and them have no problem. Other persons, them say them feel like them are go dead. The side effects are unbearable. It's not for everybody. What works for you might not work for somebody else. The side effects that are commonly associated with the combined oral contraceptive pill are weight gain, headaches or migraines. We have acne that is common. Mood swings, you can have depressive moods, rashes that come up on the skin. There are a lot of side effects, right? Some persons take it and they don't have no side effect, and others take it and them have everything, right? Depending on how you take your combined oral contraceptive pill, your period can be lighter, heavier, shorter, longer, right? Remember, this is hormone, so if you don't take it properly, it can mess you up like really bad, right? So I always say speak with your pharmacist or your healthcare provider if you're taking other medications, right? If it's your first time taking or hormonal contraceptive pills, if you have any underlying condition, if you're over 35 years old, if you're a smoker, right, if you have seizures, hormonal contraceptive pills are not recommended unless the benefits outweigh the risk. All right, so that is it for this video, guys, and I hope that you like the video, share the video, comment, all of them excitement there, and I'll see you in the next video.